ADU. So let me at least set the table, which is, okay, when we launched about a year and a half ago, we saw the need for disrupting the way information and arbitrage is in real estate development. Arbitrage meaning the people with the information and the wherewithal to move on properties did and succeeded and made money. But it wasn't fair because we thought this information should be out to everybody. New entrants bring fresh ideas, different ways of developing, like KTGY, like Mark had mentioned, different ways in construction and design, just penciling it with different crowdfunding methods of making that work financially. So look, we need a lot of different ideas. So that's on the commercial side. We're super excited now to not announce the ADU report, accessory dwelling unit. California has had 3, 4, 5 years of this iteration, but the problem is it's been restrictive in the beginning. I think now, for the first time ever, it's the most open. I'll let Mia describe why it's so open, but it is open. But the pandemic hit, so it's kind of not been fully announced and not been fully utilized. So we want to provide the ADU reports, and we also now, like KTGY, have partnered and continue to partner with local architects to provide the massing for that. But that's in beta phase. We want to announce more of the ADU report first, and we'll do a follow-on once we are ready to announce the massing and how it looks like. So Mia, take it away.
Yeah, this is a sample one we have for a single family lot. So essentially with the 2020 updates, even though it's zoned as a single family lot, if you were to take advantage of the ADUs, you could potentially have, 3 if you have it attached and a detached and a junior ADU, suddenly you can make a lot more sort of rent on that lot, even though it's zoned as single family. So this is our cover page. Traditionally, there would be an address here, but we've taken that off since it's a sample. And then we'll always go into what's existing there already. So if there's a primary structure that's already built, how big is it? Is there any accessory structures that are already there? How many units, the year it was built, and the improvement value as well as land value. Just so you have that information with you ready for when if you do end up, taking that to the ownership or to the broker for further conversations regarding the deal. For the single family lot, like I said, you're typically allowed now 1 attached, 1 detached, and 1 junior ADU. And so for this report, we also have a diagram of all the different sort of options of these ADUs, whether that's an interior conversion or converting your garage. If this was a multifamily report, you would be able to have 2 detached ADUs, as well as converting, I believe, up to 25% of non-livable floor area. So like excessive parking that was built or storage space, things like that. So if you were building a detached ADU or a new attached ADU that's not within the existing structure, you would be required to have setbacks. So we'll outline those setbacks that would be required for you on the lot. For this one, it's 4 feet. And then also if it's detached, it would need to be 10 feet away from that primary structure. And then we will also go into the maximum size you can have. So for attached ADUs on single family, it's typically 50% of that existing primary structure is for your attached ADU size. And then for detached, it's usually 1,200 square feet. And we'll also give you the height here as well as below for attached, detached, and junior ADU. And that will typically be in accordance with the zoning. But also if there was a Q condition or a delimitation that affected the height, we would incorporate that in here and that would be reflected in the height as well. And then lastly, the parking for the residential ones are usually 1 space per ADU, but there are about 5 conditions that are sort of scenarios that would exempt you from that requirement. So we go through and see if that lot would be exempt from the requirement. So for this one, it would be exempt from being having that parking space since it is within a historically significant district. And then lastly, we go into restrictions, which is similar to our main Brick+Work report. But that's essentially it for our single family ADU report. Like I said, our multifamily report is similar in design, but will go into the requirements that would be required for those ADUs for multifamily, as well as there's different sort of allowed ADUs by having like those 2 detached rather than 1 detached and things like that. And we're also excited to be soon partnering with architects, like John had said, to bring in massing for those ADUs. So if you got your ADU report and you were like, oh, this is great, and you wanted to take that a step further, you could also request a massing model, initial massing model for that too.
Great job, Mia. That's awesome. So yeah, so we're excited. This is in beta phase. I would say just give us about another week or so to announce that it's actually live. So why we're doing the beta is we're getting feedback. There's a cross section of agents that we've chosen to give us this feedback in different neighborhoods, because there are a little bit of nuances based on whether it's LA City or Santa Monica. But overall, I think it's the most open because the state rules regarding this pretty much applies everywhere, if that makes sense. There's only slight nuances based on those municipalities. So like Mia had mentioned, this is just the step 1. Step 2 is also the architects that mass it. Well, why is massing important? Well, physically, based on the structure, your home, based on the garage, is there a garage, is there not a garage, right? Like all of these things factor into specific recommended size or square footage of the ADU. And then you might have a few options. You might have one where you could either or, where you now have to pick one ADU based on setbacks and your property, where you decide, do I do a detach or attach? Or maybe you do 2, and 2 based on the square footage is going to be attached to existing, converting, and then also the garage. So there's now a multitude of ways to get an ADU, right? And so, and one thing I want to announce is that I just got off a meeting with the founder of Boxable, right? And so that's going to be exciting because they provide out of the box, built outside, delivered to you, a junior suite, a 400 square foot livable space for $50,000. That's insane. That's incredible, right, Mia? Like, I think I
Yeah,
showed you that earlier.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the ADU, there's a lot of options for ADUs, but most of the quotes that we've seen that other people are providing are going to be well over 100,000. Maybe a few are at 70 or 80,000, but more often than not, it's over 100,000. So something that comes into this at 50 is definitely a game changer, and we're going to feature that vendor in a lot of these reports as well. So you'll get the contact information for them, and then you could take it from there. But again, as you can see, the ADUs are exciting because there's way more single families than commercial opportunities for multifamily. And this is a way to get 1, 2, 3 extra housing units quickly, right? Very quickly. So we're excited to announce this beta phase. We'll launch this hopefully here in a week or 2, make it live so every user gets access to this.